Hi, it's Matthew in the kitchen with my pressure cooker again. Today I'm going to make baked beans in the pressure cooker. So for this one, starts with 1.5 cups of navy beans, rinsed. Just ran them under a bit of water there. 6 cups of water, so here is 4. And 6, like my blender jar, wonderful measuring cup. 2 cloves, 1, 2. Those will be pulled out later. We're not going to want to eat them. I'm going to use 3 bay leaves. Throw those in there. Those will also be pulled out later. And then just in case the beans bubble a little bit, I'm going to put a little dash of oil in. Just helps keep the bubbling down and the boiling. Now this is going to take 15 minutes, and then I'll come back for stage 2. Let's put it on for 15. We'll be back in a little bit. So I've opened up the pressure cooker after 15 minutes. Beans are nice and soft and all cooked. So this recipe, you can see what they are, nice and soft. This recipe calls for them to be drained, but you have to save 2 cups of liquid. So I'm just going to, off to the side, dump that into a strainer. Right, there we go. And there are the beans. Now the important thing is you've got to pull out your bay leaf. And if you've got your cloves in there, if you use cloves, you should pull those out. It's not just something not that, they add flavor, but it's not something nice to bite into while you're eating. So where is that next clove? Just look for it pretty quickly. And there it is. Nice and easy, got my 2 cloves. Great. Got my 2 liters of reserved liquid. I'll just mix that right back in. Yes, I do use my blend tech for everything, even things that have nothing to do with blending. Okay, now the rest of the recipe, that's hot, is minced onion and a clove or 2 of garlic fried up. So I'm just going to go throw that in. There we go. Love my cast iron frying pan. For frying, you could do it all together at once in the pressure cooker on the browning setting, but I didn't do that today. I'm in a bit of a hurry. So 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So there's a 1/4 cup. And another 1/4 cup. So a 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard. Like this Dijon mustard, and I'll just put that in here. Now for this one, until you get used to the flavors, it's a good idea to actually measure. Oops, drop some in there. Make sure you get all the right amounts in. So 1/4 cup of mustard, a 1/4 cup of molasses. Now, molasses has a nice strong flavor. Really. Not really much of a substitute for it. Okay. Nice and thick. Rinsing it out a little bit with the hot water in here. Beautiful. Okay. 1/4 cup of tomato paste. These containers are about 1/2 cup, so I'm just going to put in half that. Okay if it's a little bit off for tomatoes, because I know I like a little bit of extra tomato. Now I've got molasses all over my fingers. Tablespoon of chili powder. So there we go. Now this one calls for 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce, I don't have a good barbecue sauce recipe that I make myself, so I'm still using the prepackaged stuff. Oh well. One. Nope. Looks like I'm a little bit low. I'm gonna have to go shopping. Let's get that in there. Yeah, I'm definitely running out of barbecue sauce. And it's springtime. I better get out there and buy some more before barbecue season really starts going. Next one. Tablespoon of lean parents. Yeah. I'll add a little bit more. I really love that stuff too. Soy sauce. Now this one's gluten-free, so I'm using a gluten-free soy sauce. 2 tablespoons of this. If you are trying to do gluten-free, make sure you check everything. A lot of soy sauces aren't gluten-free because they're fermented wheat. A lot of barbecue sauces, actually a lot of sauces, I use it as a thickener, I think. This one calls for 2 tablespoons of hot sauce. I'm just going to put in 1 because my kids probably won't eat it if I put in 2. Always important to tell your recipes to who's actually going to eat it. Hey. Now the other things to throw in there, bacon. So it says four strips of bacon. That's a little bit more because I like bacon. And then this is not going to be obviously not going to be vegan. I'm actually going to throw in some diced up ham that I had kicking around. So I'll throw that in too. There we go. Now it's going to be another 10 minutes on the pressure cooker, and we've got the meal ready to go. So this does take a little bit longer to cook your beans like this. Mostly to make sure you get a lot of good flavor in there. But so 10 minutes to help soak the flavor in there. Nice thing about cooking from dry beans is they're a lot cheaper, and it only takes 15 minutes of prep work. So if you started out at the beginning, you can be frying up your onions or your bacon or other things while you're getting the rest of it together. Do your 15 minutes and use your dried beans. So start it again. We'll be back in 10 minutes. See how it tastes. And here we are at the end of that last little cycle, and we have our beans. And they look just great. I'm just going to give that a quick stir and see how they taste. So these ones are a little bit runny. I do say they'll thicken, or you can just mash up a few beans and get it thicker right away. Let me see how this tastes. Really good. I think it was actually a good amount of hot sauce. Next time I might add a little bit more molasses or brown sugar. Dial back the water just a little bit. It's a little bit not quite as thick as I'd like, but it is a really nice sauce there. It's also a little bit heavy on the tomato. Another thing that you might want to think about when you're making this for yourself. Definitely a little bit more sugar, and this would be right up there. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I enjoyed it. It looks like it's going to be a good meal for me to eat with the kids. They should love it. And if you like this recipe, check out my channel. See what else I've got up there. I've got a bunch of ideas. If you have something you want me to try, go ahead and send me an email. And of course, like or subscribe to the channels if you want to get updates for my next idea. Enjoy!